Well, it occurred to me that um, a year ago, I mean, almost to the day, uh, last April, I came back from Get Lit at the Beach 2024 and did kind of a recap. And gosh, maybe I'm just making or looking for reasons to record another podcast because I'm approaching 100 episodes. As my coworkers at Costco, Matt Blake included, were like, "Oh, what are you gonna do for your 100th episode?" And like, I hadn't even thought about it actually, but yeah, maybe you should try to. I have no idea because I'm not gonna stop, but I guess 100 is a milestone, you might say. But what was I just? I already got distracted. Get lit at the beach. Yeah, so that was this past weekend, April 11th, 12th, and 13th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Um, yeah, it every year it's friggin' incredible. I was trying to think back to how many years I've done it now because they took a break during the pandemic for 3 years. So 2020, 2021, and 2022, they did not do it. Um, is that right? Yeah, it was canceled in 2020. Didn't do it in 2021 or 2022. Oh, so yes, 2023 was the first year back. And then 2024 was technically their it would have been their 10-year anniversary if there hadn't been a pause. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's 2 years. And I think the first year I went was either 2015. That sounds right. But I just went as a guest. And then the next year, I started running sound for it, and I've done it ever since. So I think I've run sound at least seven of the 11 years, or 8 of the 11 years. Maybe it's 8. Yeah. Anyway, it was awesome, and the best part about it is Um, I mean, obviously Terry Brooks, my favorite author, is one of the reasons it started. One of the founders of it, um, which is why I found out about it. But every year I go, and for the most part, there was is it Bob R.A. Salvatore R.A. Salvatore Bob. His name is Bob. He went by Bob. He was there one year, and I think I had heard of him because he writes fantasy. But I think every other author that has ever been there, I had never heard of until I went to the event. And oh my gosh, it's incredible. I love hearing the authors talk. It's a very intimate event, and it's they spend 3 days with the same people, and it's capped at 100 people. So you spend 3 days with the same audience. So it's a really yeah, you get to know the authors. The authors get to know the guest, and I do, and I've heard the authors and even Terry talk about it. The authors tend to let their guard down and maybe let you peek behind the curtain a little more than if you just went to a book signing at a local bookstore when they're doing a tour to support their latest book or something. Yeah, it's a really cool event. I love it. So it went off really well. This most recent one was, of course, so yeah, a little backstory here. Terry is now 81, I think, or 82. And he officially announced just a couple months ago that he is quote unquote retiring. Um, doesn't mean he might never write another book or write again, but he is officially retiring as a working author. And he found, and gosh, I'm blanking on her name. He announced it, but him and his publisher and his editor and his agent and all them did find another author. It's I forgot her name, but she's in her 40s. She is going to take over the Shannara series and continue it into the future. And Terry will be there for advice or assistance if needed, but he's hands off. This new author is gonna do what she does or whatever she wants to do with the Shannara story, the Shannara series. And there's obviously so many books in that series that span hundreds, if not thousands of years, that there's lots of gaps in between. So there's plenty of room to write, I guess you could say. But yeah, so Terry and his lovely wife Jadine, they were there, but he has stepped back from kind of hosting and emceeing like he usually did every year, or actually did every year. So Tracy Abel, who is kind of the event coordinator, event planner, has been doing it since I don't think she did it the first year, but every year since she's been in control, and that's who I reached out to and offered my services for sound. She's a rock star. So this year she kind of took over as the MC, not only organizing it and planning it and making sure everything comes together, but she had to take over the MC duties and introduce every author, do all the speaking, until it was turned over to the authors. But yeah, and she freaking killed it. Well done, Tracy. Who is going to be on my podcast? Yes. I feel stupid. I even told her I'm a dumbass because it's taken me this long to even. I feel like maybe I had asked her to be on it before, but I can't remember. But we did book it. So next week she is, and we're going to do it over Zoom. She lives in Cannon Beach, and I'm here in Vancouver. So. But Tracy's going to be on the podcast, and I'm super excited to hear the stories and just kind of, get to know her a little bit more. So, but yes, this year was amazing. Again, Terry was there, and he opened it. The Saturday part, the first part of it Saturday morning was cool because Terry and Sean Speakman, who is Terry's web druid. He's been running Terry's website for almost, I can't remember exactly how long, but it's been more than, this is 2025, probably more than 20 years, if not 20 years. But Sean is also an author in his own part. So the morning session was him and Terry just together in conversation. That was great. And then, the other authors that were there this weekend was, and I hope I don't get these names wrong, but it was Paul's Tatogny, something like that. I'm very close. Sorry, Paul's. I believe, he was the afternoon guy. Sorry, Joe Wilkins spoke after Terry and Sean, and then we take a break for lunch, and the afternoon speaker was Paul's Tatogny. Funny thing was, they're local authors, both in they're in Oregon. Paul's, I believe, is a professor in addition to being a published author. He's a professor at Lewis and Clark University. That's in Portland. And then Joe Wilkins, I believe, is a professor at Linfield University, Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon. And then Saturday night dinner with the keynote speaker was Renee Denfeld. She lives in Portland and had an amazing, I told her, amazing, powerful keynote speech. I'm very impressed with all the authors. And then the panel discussion on Sunday at the Coaster Theater in Cannon Beach was amazing. So, yeah, another amazing weekend. Of course, I was very tedious and reached out to, random authors, and I bothered Renee because, I run the sound. So over the course of the weekend, the authors get to know me because I'm the one that has to go up and turn the mic on right before they speak. And they're all different heights. So I have to adjust the mic stand, raise it and lower it to, because Joe's pretty tall, and then Tracy's not. So Tracy introduces them. Then I have to raise the mic for Joe. But they were all amazing. Um, yeah, it's a gift to do this event, and it's so funny because I look forward to it for the entire year. Um, but it is and Tracy's the same way. We care so much about this event that we want everything to be perfect. So once the mic's on and the author starts talking, then at least for 45 to 60 minutes, I can relax and listen to them. But the rest of the time leading up to it is just I have to make sure everything's good. Fresh batteries in the wireless mic. The levels aren't too high. All four speakers are at the same level. The podium is the podium in the right place. One of the authors had a like a PowerPoint slideshow presentation, and there was also some audio music or audio music, and actually I don't know if it was music, but there was audio. He just wanted to be able to play, so I was able to, luckily, because after all my time DJing, I have every possible random adapter, connection, wire, cord you could ever need. So it worked out good. We were able to, Paul's was able to play his slideshow and play the audio he wanted to through my sound system. So yeah, it worked out great. It's always stress, but I love it when it comes together, and it totally did. So, and again, I really appreciate all the authors. Huge shout out to Tracy for running the show, and then a big thanks to Terry, of course, for the reason this happens is because of Terry. So he has moved back to Seattle to be closer to his family as him and Judy in age. Smart decision, but I'm sure I know Cannon Beach will always have a special place in his heart. And even when he created this event, it's going to be passed down. He never intended it to end, when he has to stop being a part of it, or, eventually when he's not around anymore. This event's going to continue, and I'll do it for as long as I can. I definitely need to downsize my speakers to make it easier to haul that stuff over and lift it up. But yeah, I'll be doing it as long as I can. So it is a gift. Yeah. God, it was a great weekend. I did took the little urn of my mom's ashes over with me, and I took the guitar that she bought me, my first guitar, and it was kind of randomly funny. Obviously, wasn't going to make a thing of it, but I had put the little mini urn in my laptop bag. So for the entire weekend, because my bag was with me at the event. Once I get the stuff out I need, I just zip it. I'm kind of tuck it away in a corner or under a table that has a tablecloth on it. But yeah, Mom was at the event in spirit the whole weekend with us. It was kind of cool to just know that. And then, happy surprise, my Uncle Oscar, her brother, I had reached out to him a few weeks before it, and I was like, "Hey, it just occurred to me. Mom went to this with me several years in a row, and she loved it. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And he was like, "Yeah." I need something to break me out of my routine, so it was awesome. Um, I got him a ticket, and he was there for the whole weekend. The Friday reception all day Saturday, and then the dinner on a Saturday night, and then he came to the Coaster Theater for the panel discussion on Sunday. And yeah, it was really freaking cool to have him there. So I'm super glad that he came. And then, I don't like to talk about it, but I got to give some props. My birthday was Monday. Um, so I got a lot of love from family and friends. My brothers Wes and Michael, all the family in Tennessee, Teresa, Janice, um, my cousin Deshonda, who's out here in Oregon, tons of family and friends. Pam wished me happy birthday. Gwen, thank you. My one listener, my one subscriber. I'm kidding. I have more than one subscriber. Somebody actually asked me that a few weeks ago. But anyway, Gwen is a plank owner, so thank you, Gwen. Yeah, just another year older. Still feel like I'm 25, but the body doesn't quite work as well. Um, so yeah, get lit at the beach was friggin' amazing. It's a big exhale, um, but I'm so grateful for it. The event, puts me up at the Surf Sand Resort for the weekend. Everything's paid for, so I'm very lucky. Um, Now in May coming up, I have my friend from high school, Jason's celebration of life at his mom's house outside of Madras. So I'm going to meet with his sister Michelle very soon. We got to do some planning, and then doing a fundraising event up at Taps Beer Reserve in Ridgefield. That is in June, and I believe it's a fundraiser for the Ridgefield Police Department. I think I should know all the details better, but I'm just going to play some music there on a Saturday evening, um, and then doing my good friend Steve Richards and his amazing wife Esther, their son's wedding in July in Bend. I'm sorry, it's in Sisters, Oregon. That's where the actual wedding is. But yeah, it worked out really good. Shout out to JMac Speakers. I think that's the name. JMac, JAMAC, on Sandy Boulevard. Right across the 205 bridge on Sandy Boulevard, just before you kind of get to the grotto. That guy's awesome. He made it through the pandemic, thank goodness. But I'd had some issues with one of my speakers, maybe this Yamaha, and took it into him, and we realized it was just kind of a loose connection. So you have a quarter-inch input. It's like a phono jack that goes and you plug it into the back of something. And the way that works, I'd never opened the back of the speaker up, but there's just a thin piece of metal that creates the contact. So when you push the the phono connection into the back of the speaker, it touches this metal tang or tong. And if over time, since I've had these speakers for like 20 years almost, it just starts. If the tong is bent too far, it just loses contact. You just have to kind of bend it a little bit up so that there's a nice solid pressure between the speaker cord plugged in and the metal tong. That's all it was. Um, and he tried to charge me $20, and I'm like, dude, I mean, you didn't have to, there was no money on parts. You just had to show me how to fix that. You pulled it out and did it, but I was like, come on, I mean, charge me 50 at least for your time. And he was like, all right, we'll settle on 40. So yeah, JMac speakers. That guy's amazing. Any needs like that, please patronize that business. Super nice guy. Um, let's see. Oh, um, so much happening. Uh, yeah, I guess I just wanted to kind of recap. Um, Tracy is confirmed and booked on the podcast Next week, I'm hoping to. I did reach out to Renee, the keynote speaker. She told me to email her, so hopefully I can get her on the podcast. That'd be great. She has a really amazing story. And again, all the authors were amazing. I think Renee connected with me because I think I'm a little bit older than her, but we're probably kind of close. But literally was had a rough childhood, and at the age of 13, I believe, was literally homeless on the streets of Portland. So I'm guessing this is in the 80s. And it kind of uh, connected with me because I was like, I even though I grew up in Canby, I spent a lot of time in Portland, especially in the late 80s and early 90s. I can just picture that scene of what downtown Portland was like, and I'm trying to imagine a 13 or 14-year-old girl being homeless, sleeping in under park benches or whatever. And I'm like, and now check her out, please. Renee Denfeld, Rene. Renee Denfeld is Denfeld. The work she is doing beyond an author, she's doing so much more. Is really impressive. And to hear her talk, I'm like, wow. What you came from to what you became is so impressive. So that's why I want to have her on the podcast, because that's going to be an incredible story and very inspirational. So, oh boy, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm trying to be responsible. Ooh, it's not that late, but I do want to be productive tomorrow, and part of the reason I always have the lights low, but I have a lot of organizing. I'm definitely going to have to do a Goodwill run, and my room is so cluttered. I need to get more organized. So, but again, it was a great weekend. Gwen, thank you for the birthday wish. That was very sweet, and I am a very lucky person. I have a lot of good family, friends, and coworkers in my life, and I get to do a lot of amazing things. So, shout out to Casey and Tyler for all the open mic opportunities. I know I still need a lot of practice, but I'm gonna keep practicing and get a lot better. But you guys are awesome. So I will talk to you guys soon. Trying to book, always trying to book guests, but the next one might be Tracy, if not somebody before. Take care, guys.